Summary of The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Introduction: The Case for Financial Independence. The Simple Path to Wealth is a personal finance book aimed at helping readers achieve financial independence (FI) and retire earlier through simple, practical, and effective investing strategies. The author, J.L. Collins, originally wrote the book as a series of letters to his daughter with the goal of helping her navigate the complex world of finance in a clear and straightforward way. The book focuses on principles that anyone can follow to build wealth over time, regardless of their background or income level. The overarching theme of The Simple Path to Wealth is that financial freedom comes from adopting a mindset of simplicity, discipline, and consistency in managing your money. Collins emphasizes that wealth building doesn't require complicated strategies or insider knowledge. What's needed is an understanding of basic principles and the courage to implement them. Key concepts and principles. 1. The power of financial independence, FI. Collins begins by stressing the value of financial independence, FI. FI means having enough wealth to live the life you want without needing to work for a paycheck. It's not about retiring early in the traditional sense, but about gaining the freedom to make choices that align with your values and passions. Achieving financial independence allows you to live on your terms without the pressure of earning a salary. Pursue what you truly care about, whether that's a passion project, travel, or spending time with family. Avoid being stuck in a job simply because you need the income. The book emphasizes that you don't need to be a millionaire to achieve financial independence, but you do need to adopt the mindset of a person focused on building long-term wealth. The importance of low-cost index funds. One of the most important principles in the book is the idea of low-cost index funds as the best vehicle for growing wealth over time. Collins argues that actively managed funds, individual stock picking, and other complex investment strategies typically underperform in the long term due to high fees, taxes, and poor decision-making. Instead, he recommends investing in low-cost, broad-market index funds that track major indices like the S&P 500. Why index funds? Low fees. The expense ratios of index funds are typically very low, which means more of your money goes toward building wealth. Market returns. Index funds generally offer solid market returns as they track the entire market or specific sectors. Over the long term, the stock market has a historical average return of about 7% to 10% annually after inflation. Simplicity. Investing in index funds is straightforward and doesn't require you to constantly monitor or adjust your portfolio. Collins advocates for the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, VTSAX, or similar low-cost, diversified index funds as a foundational investment. The stock market is your friend. A core theme of The Simple Path to Wealth is understanding and embracing the stock market. Collins acknowledges that the stock market can be volatile in the short term, but he emphasizes that it is, in the long run, the best tool for wealth creation. The stock market has consistently outperformed most other asset classes such as bonds, real estate, and commodities over the long run. Collins explains that time in the market is more important than timing the market. The longer you stay invested, the more likely you are to capture the market's overall growth. Dollar cost averaging is a strategy where you invest a fixed amount of money on a regular schedule, regardless of market conditions. This strategy reduces the impact of volatility and lowers the risk of trying to time the market. Collins emphasizes that wealth is not just about how much you earn, but how much you save. Living below your means is perhaps the most important habit for building wealth. No matter how much money you make, if you spend it all or more, you will never build wealth. Here are a few key takeaways about saving. The 50-30-20 rule. This is a simple budgeting approach that divides your income into 3 categories. 50% for needs, housing, food, utilities. 30% for wants, entertainment, dining out. 20% for savings and investments. Financial freedom mindset. Collins recommends adopting a mindset where you prioritize saving and investing over spending on non-essentials. The less you spend, the faster you can accumulate wealth. The concept of compound interest is one of the most powerful tools for building wealth. Collins explains how investing early and consistently leads to exponential growth of wealth over time. As the money you earn from investments compounds, i.e., you earn returns on both your initial investment and the returns themselves. For example, a $10,000 investment that grows at 8% annually would yield, after 10 years, $589, after 20 years, $46,610, after 30 years, $106,700. The longer you invest, the greater the impact of compound interest. This is why starting early is critical. One of the key ideas in the simple path to wealth is that you don't need to take high risks to achieve financial independence. Collins argues that many people mistakenly believe that investing in high-risk assets, such as individual stocks or speculative ventures, is necessary to build wealth. However, by consistently investing in low-cost index funds, you can build wealth at a steady pace without taking on excessive risk. He explains that taking on more risk exposes you to greater volatility and potential loss, which could derail your financial goals. On the other hand, low-cost index funds give you a broad, diversified exposure to the stock market, allowing you to grow your wealth with less risk over time. The importance of asset allocation. Collins stresses the importance of having the right asset allocation in your portfolio. How much of your investments are in stocks, bonds, and cash? While stocks provide growth potential, bonds offer stability and can reduce overall portfolio volatility. However, he also emphasizes that, for most people, once you have accumulated a significant amount of wealth, you can scale back your stock exposure to reduce risk. For younger investors, a higher allocation to stocks is recommended, while older investors, or those approaching retirement, might consider increasing their bond allocation for stability. The value of tax efficiency. Collins advocates for understanding the tax implications of your investments. Tax efficiency is about structuring your investments in a way that minimizes your tax liabilities. This means taking advantage of tax-advantaged accounts, such as 401k, a retirement savings account that allows you to invest pre-tax income, deferring taxes until retirement. Roth IRA, a retirement account where contributions are made with after-tax money, but the investments grow tax-free. By focusing on tax-efficient investing, you can keep more of your returns working for you rather than giving them to the government. Debt, the enemy of wealth. One of the biggest obstacles to building wealth is debt. Collins advises against using debt to finance lifestyle purchases, such as luxury cars or extravagant vacations. Instead, he recommends paying off high-interest debts, like credit card balances, as quickly as possible. While some types of debt, e.g. mortgages or student loans, may be necessary or more manageable, consumer debt, debt used for discretionary spending, is a wealth killer. The book emphasizes that financial freedom begins when you are debt-free. Retirement is a choice, not an obligation. Collins believes that retirement is not necessarily about quitting work, but rather about gaining the freedom to work on your own terms. The traditional concept of retirement, where people work for 40 years and then stop working entirely, is increasingly outdated. Instead, FI gives people the choice to retire early or pursue more meaningful work without the pressure of earning a salary. In conclusion, J.L. Collins urges readers to adopt the simple path to wealth, investing consistently, living below your means, avoiding unnecessary risks, and understanding the power of compound interest. The path to wealth and financial independence doesn't need to be complicated. It's about smart, steady decisions over a long period of time. Collins also emphasizes that the journey to financial independence is not just about accumulating wealth, but about creating a life where you can make choices that align with your values and live with peace of mind. By following the principles outlined in the Simple Path to Wealth, anyone can achieve financial independence and gain the freedom to live life on their own terms. The book is a guide to simplifying personal finance, focusing on what truly matters and building wealth over time through disciplined saving, investing, and financial prudence.